Well, just out on a beautiful Saturday evening, September, even the sun setting. Look at that. Look at that. Don't get much better, does it? So, little catch up. So, we've got a big rise in the river in the week. 3.9 odd metres it got to at Hereford. And just have a look here, I'll just turn you around here. That's where you see it's still heavily coloured, it's got a lot of sediment in it, which is what you'd expect this time of year. When you get that first rise, obviously there's water washing the banks, you know, bits that haven't had any, you know, bits that the river hasn't washed over all year. So you get the colour, and the sediment just tends to hang in there. I'm up at well, top of Belmont, Brainton section, and yeah, so the river's dropped away now. It dropped away really quick, which is down to the fact that the water table will still be low. As much as we had a lot of rain and stormy weather, it takes a long time for that water table to get up. The fields are fairly sort of dry, and the path as well. The path is quite dry as well, so even though we had regular rain. So yeah, so it was interesting actually in the week. We caught fish. There's a lot of fish caught all over the river when it first rose, that real big rise. People were catching when it was level with the banks, as we always do. Those barbel have obviously, you know, come out to get what's been washed in, or get, you know, they can get parts of the river bank and clear all the bugs and whatever they do. So it sends the barbel on. But then actually, what happened? I got in the van on Thursday morning, and the gauge was saying the temperature was 7 degrees, which is a big drop. It was cold. You could feel it was cold, and that seemed to have a detrimental effect on the fishing then, because it's been quiet the last couple of days. I haven't been out fishing myself, but I've been sort of doing some back work and pegging out as I am now, talking to anglers, and the barbel has been pretty inconspicuous really. And I think that's that sudden change. You know, yes, we've had the water, yes, we've got colour in the water, you know, which is what you want to see at this time of year. I think it was all just a bit much, and I think now it's going to settle down. Just spoken to a few guys now who actually started catching this evening. I hadn't caught all day, and they've started catching this evening, and I don't necessarily think that's as a result of the time of day. I think that's because I think the water temperature might have settled down, they've got used to the conditions. And I'm really hoping, for this gate, really hoping that tomorrow is going to be a good day, because we've got our first match of the season tomorrow, the traditional curtain raiser, which is the Riverwide Charity Shield Joe Burrows Memorial. Obviously I run the matches, the majority of the matches on the river, and so it's time for me to get my organiser's head on, which is why I'm out on Saturday night doing this. But looking forward to it, because I just think there's going to be some, we've got, you know, we're mainly out of town on this. We move into the Belmont stretch as it gets colder and through the Winter League, but for this match we like to keep as much of it out of town as we can in the wild. And I think at the moment there's still lots of chub and dace and roach and perch. Just talking to a guy now actually who's catching some, he's caught some big roach today on pellets, you know, which is becoming a more common thing now. And it seems to be the big ones. The £1.13 was the biggest he's had today, so that's nice to see. So generally the river's had a little bit of a lull for a couple of days. So when there was high water it was really good for a little while. Now it's just had a little stutter, and I think now it should start fishing again. And as we move into the week, I've looked at the forecast ahead, there's a bit of rain about, more stormy weather, so I'm sure levels will fluctuate, but I don't actually think, as long as we can steer away from that cold rain or cold nights, I think we could be certainly looking at a good late September, October. Barbel fishing, all the other species will be moving into their autumn positions, and hopefully the start of what promises to be an epic autumn winter. There you go, this fish just topped out, and you can see the ripples there. What's chub or something. So yeah, so it's all looking good. So yeah, so I don't know what we'll be like in the week, whether we'll have a big river. So as for other species, I mean, this water might get a few salmon moving around. I think I might have a little look towards the end of the season if it's just sort of drops off. You know, this extra water might have brought some late fish into the system. Obviously it's not ideal and don't hold out a lot of hope for it, but it's certainly be worth having a go at some point. So yeah, so our first match tomorrow, so I shall sign off now, but I will do another update early next week and perhaps discuss the results of the match, how it's fished and what we're seeing and what's happening. So if you're out in the next couple of days, I think it's prime time now. Get out there, catch whatever species you're after. Everything's on the table at the moment, and I'll update you on conditions in the next few days.